Hey everyone, welcome to this new edition of the Warriors Den. I'm your host, Emile, aka Space Elephant, and with me, my spiritual guy, the new Stéphane Cardin. How are you, Stéphane?
Amazingly well. A lot better. I had a chance to sleep a little bit this weekend, so
Okay.
that was good news.
All right.
No, it was still very intense. We had but the team is focused. We have the right things on the floor. The reaction you guys had for last stream when we talk about our priority, I think we are seeing the same thing, and I think we're working on the right direction. So that was kind of a relief on our side. So that and I don't know if you're aware, but we are at a critical moment on our faction war.
That's true. There's something critical happening.
Yeah, it's first season ever. So like I always said, you can. Everybody will remember the first year, the first season, right? And if the Samurai win this turn, they win the season.
That's true.
And if the Knight lose, it's done, right? The Knights, bye-bye, they will lose for sure. But who knows? Maybe we're going to have an alliance between Vikings and Knight.
Is it something possible?
But with our Reddit fan, everything is possible.
That's true. That's true. So we have a packed schedule again today, guys. We released a big update this morning, so we will go through that with the usual suspects, with Roman and Damien that will join us a little bit later. So again, we'll take questions from the chat. This will be a shorter stream than what we're used to do. So, but last time we said that it will be 30 minutes, and finally it ended up being an hour, so who knows?
Yeah, that's the problem with French guests, right? French people, blah blah blah, with amazing accent. That's great.
So, but since you're here, Stéphane, what's going on with on the floor right now? What's going on with the team?
But again, we keep the same priority. I think, as we said, it's. Stability, connectivity is huge for us, and last week I told you that we integrated Riverfort.
Yes, that's right.
We look at the performance. It was like expected. We didn't have surprise, so I'm super happy that we've been able to push again. But not push again, but to reintegrate I4 this week. So yesterday actually, and so far so good. So we're happy. I think we're touching the right nerves, and it's super encouraging for us and that famous connectivity issues that we were facing.
And something else that we are tackling these days is cheating in AFK farming. On the team, I think we're having again some measures in place to make sure that we keep a sane, competitive environment.
But that again, it's not a subject that I like, because we're not doing it. We're doing it because it's affecting the experience of everybody. So if you did AFK cheating or AFK farming or cheating, please stop. AFK farming is not possible anymore on PC.
We fixed the rubber band exploit.
Yeah, and the result so far seems to be great. It's the feedback we receive from in-game matches. On console, it doesn't mean it's allowed. We still monitoring the in-game matches, making sure that those behaviors don't happen. And unfortunately, when it's happening, we have to ban people, and we do constantly some wave. But right now, the number of people that are doing it is diminishing every week. So that's a very good sign. But please, guys, right? When you do that behavior, it's affecting everybody. It doesn't help in, the experience of everybody. So please be cautious about that, and we won't have to use those measures anymore.
And again, if you want to report some bad behaviors, or if you want to have a look at our code of conduct, it's all on the support.ubisoft.com page, so you can go there and report some bad players' behavior. Anything else, Stéphane, before we move on into this big update that happened this morning?
I want to give as much space as possible because, as I said, we are working really hard. The update, I don't know if you read the release note that we published this morning. but it's huge. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that Damien Roman have the chance to give you all the details. What is happening? What is coming in that patch? And if you have any questions, I think at the end we will also take a few questions.
Absolutely.
So guys, continue to be with us. Honestly, after last week stream, the reaction was very constructive. We received again a lot of positive idea, a lot of idea to balance the different characters, and that's why I want Roman to give you more in-depth precision about that, because I think half of the comments last week or questions were about the balancing and the details. So we will go one step further and giving you a lot more visibility on how we manage that. So I think you will enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Also this week, we have this stream where we're going in depth into the new update, but also we released last week an article in This Week in For Honor. We will release another one today, probably after the stream, if it's not already on our website. But we think it's important also, if you cannot watch this stream, if you're, I don't know, for whatever reason, but it's important to have those news written down in a blog article, so it should come. If it's not already on our website, it should be there right after the stream. So you ask for more communication. We do our best to keep you updated on everything that's happening in the team here.
Thanks, Emile. And if you do your best, everything will be okay, right?
Thank you,
Thank you. Have fun, guys. Enjoy.
And also, we didn't just only update the game with all of the patch notes that you've seen this morning. We have new content coming. We have new emotes that you can access in the game. And just to give you a quick sneak peek, here's a cool video to show you those emotes. Max, whenever you're ready. We're back, guys, with Damien and Roman. Damien is our online game director, and Roman is the game director on the game. But first things first, I had, For Honor, I had a request from Klika, from one of our great players and also pretty good YouTuber. Klika asked to high-five Roman, so here you go. And why not, Damien? I have to high-five you again. Let's go. So I can take requests like that, guys. I can high-five Roman. I can hug Roman. I will not go further than that. But if you have a special request, pass it my way.
And be nice with him. Don't ask him to punch me.
I won't do that. I will not even try. But first thing, Damien, because Stefan mentioned the faction war.
Yes.
Because we're at a critical point right now where the samurai. I mean, if it keeps going on like that, the samurai could win the first season.
If they win the round, it's done. It means that they will win the season for sure. And then the next round will still be decisive to know who will be the second. But yeah. So if I were a knight or Viking, I would
create an alliance. Is it possible?
An alliance or something like that, and fight against the samurai. Even though I'm a samurai, so don't listen to me. Also,
you're a spy.
I'm a spy.
False information.
Yeah, maybe. Also, if you want to optimize war assets, you should really play on the last hour before an update because you have a 20% bonus. You should also fight in the front you think that really matters the most. So can't wait to see what Vikings and Knights will do. And same thing, if the Knights don't win that round, it means that for them it's over. They will be the last one.
So it's pretty unusual, but Vikings and Knights, if you can unite, that's the moment to do it, unless the Samurai will win this season. That's enough of the business, guys. We released this big update, and we want to go through everything with you guys. We announced a few things last week, but we kept some information for this week. Now it's updated on PC, because don't forget that we always update PC first, and the console will come pretty soon. There is a process of a submission that we need to follow to make sure that it's approved by Sony and Microsoft, so that's why it comes a little bit after. Speaking of that, Roman, because what we released this morning, this is a pretty long patch note, this is a pretty long text. We're talking about title update and also live update, but what's the difference between these two types of updates?
Basically, title update, it's code plus data. It's a really big patch. And on console, those patches has to go through the certification process, and that can take a little bit more time. Also, it requires much more testing. Live updates is mainly data, so the process can be speeded up much on console, and on PC it takes kind of like the same amount of time. So today's patch on PC was both. It was actually a title update plus a live update on top of it. But as an example, most of the balancing stuff, usually we can do them on a live update when it's not requiring code, when it's not changing a move, for an example, or something like that.
Sounds good. Thank you for this clarification. And if we jump into this big patch note, into this big update, let's start with the bug fixes first. What do we have in this? What do we have to say about this?
No, you saw the patch note. We fixed a lot of things. We still have some issues, but we're getting there. The things that I wanted to highlight is we fixed the phantom hit with the berserker, with the heavy attack. We fixed the bleed, the distance bleed, with the Nobushi. But just for the Nobushi, that bug is still present on other character, and we're going to address it as soon as we can. Also, specifically for PC, we fixed some issue with Steam controller, with hidden stance, for example. And also, we made some improvements to the chat system. In Duel, no, it's by default it's all chat, so you can speak with the guy that you're currently killing. And also in the rematch lobby, no, the chat is active. And then there's many more things, but I wanted to highlight those one because we didn't spoke about those last week.
Good call. Also, if we're talking about these patch notes being long, if you want to find them, they are on our website on forhonorgame.com right now. They are probably already on Reddit as well and on the forums, and I'm sure that our community managers can also post it on the Twitch chat right now, so you can access it. But we also have important changes in terms of game modes, I think, Roman.
So yes, so we changed actually something in elimination. No, the boosts are not going to spawn at the beginning of the match. They're going to spawn like 20 seconds after the beginning of the round. So not anymore, you don't have anymore that strategy of I'm not going to fight you, I'm actually going to run back, pick a boost. And also to make it easier for you to interrupt somebody that is grabbing a boost, we've slightly increased the duration to get a boost by 1 second to see if it's creating more gameplay on contesting somebody that is trying to pick a boost and that kind of stuff. So we're going to monitor that, but that's the first step. Also, by looking at data, we found that skirmish matches were actually a little bit too long based on where we wanted them to be. So we increased a little bit the scoring of all the actions in skirmish, whether it's kills or assist or revive, in order to speed up a little bit the matches. And last thing, I wanted to come back on something we said last week about single pick. Single pick is now an option in custom match. It's not an option on all the 4v4 mode on the playlist, but it's something that you can choose in custom match. We haven't changed the matchmaking playlist.
So basically, you can ask, if you create a custom match, you can ask to have only one Nobushi, for example, in a party.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Or one Shugoki.
Damien, we also updated a few things about gear stats in general, especially revenge. Yeah.
So we did spoke about it a lot last week, but there is one thing we didn't highlighted. In fact, it's one of the biggest changes, is that right now, when you're in revenge, the stats that you have on your attack and defense don't apply anymore. It's only your statistics that are on revenge attack and revenge defense. Because before that patch, both were accumulating each other, which was one of the reasons why the revenge was so powerful. So right now, it's only the stats of the revenge that matters.
Cool. Also, there's I knew we made a big change in the order system, especially what we call the global orders here. Can you tell a little bit more about that, Damien?
So it came a bit earlier than what we planned, to be honest. So it came before a few hours before the patch. So the server was too excited and pushed the orders. So it's in fact it's a very big deal. It's something we're working on since the beta. In fact, so we had a player feedback on the beta saying that they'd like to do all the orders and not go in PvAI, not go in PvP, and really choose how they want to perform and complete their orders. So it's finally there. Took a good amount of time and testing, etc., because we had to redo basically the whole system. So now all the orders are doable either in PvP, either in PvAI. You don't have to choose anymore, and you can do both, in fact. So you can start an order in PvP, then continue in PvAI, come back in PvP to complete it. So it's really working in all ways. That's one part of the update. And the other part of the update is that we've updated how the daily orders are working. So now one of the daily orders will always be a simple objective one. So it won't ask you to play in a specific mode, for example. It will just ask you to reach an objective in the mode you want. So for example, I think today I have them here. So today the daily is kill 5 heroes in any game mode. So if you want to do that in duel, in brawl, or in dominion, that's up to you. And the other daily, it's still like what it was before, but it's doable in PvP or PvAI. So now all orders are doable in any type of activity. So that's a huge change, and we're really happy to have it. And I think it will make the orders globally more accessible, more easy to do, and more flexible for the players to do them the way they want. So easier to earn steel also that way.
So again, this update is updated on PC for the moment, right?
It's coming with the patch. So as soon as the patch is ready on console, we will be able also to push it on consoles.
That's great. Speaking of orders, we also have an event order coming this weekend. This is a call to duels.
Yes. So we haven't done one on duel yet.
That's true. We did brawl,
and because we are doing a lot of changes on the balancing, for us it's cool also to have more duels to see what's working and how. And players were asking to have more duels orders, so we said why not doing a community global event order on duel this week. So it's still 2,000 steel as a reward, so very big reward, and it's starting this Friday, so you should go check it out.
All right, so sharpen your teeth, sharpen your swords. This will be a duel weekend. Thank you very much for this, Damien. Now it's time for some real talk, because we're talking about balancing. and we have some really cool things, and we also brought some data. You've been a lot of you asked us on social media to show some data. We said that we collect data about matchmaking and all of that, but where is this data? So we have some cool stuff to show you, so you can have a better look at how we analyze stuff when we do balancing. But first, let's talk about the heroes that we're tweaking and adjusting this week. The first one that has been requested a lot is the Kensei.
So
Roman.
before going to Kensei, sorry, I want to come back on one thing on the Peacekeeper, because I was saying that in the chat. It's about the zone attack not being punishable. Yeah, it's not punishable like the zone attack of the water. But if you get blocked, now you have a recovery and you have the frame disadvantage. So if you try to re-attack directly, you can be punished. So we made the zone attack of the Peacekeeper in line with the zone attack of the Orochi or the Warlord. Basically, you will see it in the data. Our goal is, to debuff or nerf some character. It's also to buff and increase other character. And we don't want to have a character that is currently really strong, like the Peacekeeper, becoming a low-tier character and nerf to the ground. So we're going step by step by nerfing her, but also by buffing other character. That will decrease also some of our matchup, and that will bring her a little bit down also in terms of win-loss. So not saying that's final, and we are really happy with the balancing of the Peacekeeper. We'll see where that's going, what's the feedback, and what are the numbers. But we don't necessarily want to take big steps when we nerf a character. So Kensei,
right, that's cool.
Kensei, where's my Kensei?
It's been a while since we talked about the Kensei.
Yeah.
And
So
this update is for me.
Yeah, it's one of your favorite
for me.
characters. Yeah, I remember we played it in a
Mr.
previous
Samurai.
stream.
So the Kensei was a little bit too low for us, and the main intention, one of the big thing behind gameplay, the play style of the Kensei, is unblockable attack, and getting to that unblockable attack and playing the mind game, whereas you're gonna actually do it or cancel it to a side uninterruptible, etc. The issue, it was, even if you had some shortcuts, it was too hard and it was taking too long to actually get there. So what we did is that we've put some chains directly to that unblockable.
Okay.
Coming from a dodge attack, for example. Another thing that we did to the Kensei is that the Kensei really had one strong initiation move, which was its dodge attack, and mainly its dodge forward move. We wanted to give him a little bit more, so that's why we sped up a little bit the side light attack, so that when you're at close range, those also can become opening move. And also we've reduced a little bit some of his recoveries. That's something we did across many characters on today's patch in order to prevent free guard break. We don't want to have free guard break on a basic move when they get blocked, and that's something we did today on the Kensei and on other characters.
That's great. That's a lot for the Kensei. And now another hero that we had a lot of requests to talk about that we didn't talk a lot about him last week is the Berserker.
Yeah, one of my favorite character.
Oh, yes,
I
me
love
too.
the guy. I love the axes and the style. And so we've decided we've increased the style the Berserker can put.
Okay.
That's something that was important for us. So basically what we did is that one of the signature move and playstyle of the Berserker is his ability to actually chain attack fast and almost infinity as long as he has stamina. And so we made that easier. We've removed the condition that in order for that combo to trigger, you had to actually connect to hit your opponent, whether he blocks or you hit him. So now you can start your chain even with a miss. And also we've made that the super armor kicks a little bit earlier. It kicks after just 2 moves, so it's faster to actually get into the chain. To balance that a little bit, we've removed stamina buff that he had during that that sequence, because now it's easier and faster to get to that unstoppable sequence. So it should cost a little bit more of stamina. That's something that we will monitor, see how much it impacts the guy, and we'll be ready to move a little bit forward after on that one. Also, we upped a little bit his deflect. The issue with his deflect was it was a little bit too slow, so we bring it from 700 milliseconds to 500 milliseconds in terms of the transition, because on some matchup, like for example deflecting light attack of Peacekeeper or Orochi, you didn't add the time to connect your deflect you were getting it. So that should not happen now in most of the matchups.
And we'll talk a little bit more about these matchups a little bit later.
Just after.
Yes.
And also, some moves that were giving a free guard break to the opponent unblocked, so we've reduced those recoveries.
Okay. That's great.
So I hope it's gonna go. It's gonna be better.
We'll see.
Today the issue, but one issue of the Berserker also today is that it's a character with a large skill gap, meaning that some players are actually really good with the Berserker. He has some flaws that we'll continue to work on, like for example his zone attack. We are considering buffing it in the future, or that kind of stuff. But it's a character, when it's well masterized, is actually performing well.
Oh yes, can be very dangerous.
The skill setting for that character is actually high, so we're trying to make it a little bit more easy for everybody to get in.
Are we ready to move to the next hero, the Conqueror?
So,
Roman,
Conqueror.
what do you have to say about
One of
our
my
dear
favorites.
Conqueror?
I love playing the Conqueror. It's really annoying, especially in 4v4. Now, one of the biggest issue of the Conqueror was his ability to full block stance out of any reaction, especially out of bump, and that was an issue in some matchups, like for example against the Warden. So we've removed that ability to transition from bumps and from other reactions, in order to make that a little bit more fair. Like when you actually manage to open the guy, you can actually punish him. Also, we've reworked a little bit his shield bash and his shield bash mix-ups and riposte, in order to give more opportunity for the opponent to punish the Conqueror when he's doing those moves. Also, so because it was really easy for the Conqueror to get into that loop and being always safe, and basically it's a character that is already really difficult to punish, and he had some issues that was making it actually too difficult. So we want to keep him as a strong defensive character, but still give him some risk and give the opportunity, if you manage to bait him and then dodge him, or to actually punish him. One last thing, it's actually a small buff. We increase the damage on the heavy attack from 2 points. But why? It's because to get over the regeneration threshold, to make it easier for Conqueror character to actually kill their opponents in duel. Because often you would land an heavy attack and the guy had just 1 HP and that he was able to regenerate, and then slam him again with an heavy attack and it was back to that 1 HP. That was a little bit annoying, and that was making also longer matches, so we gave him a little bit a boost on that one.
That's cool.
Again, some free guard break were removed on that character.
You said a few words about the Nobushi earlier. Is there anything else to say about my dear Nobushi?
No, the changes that we made on her, it's only to prevent free guard break on block. So on light finisher and guard move to be consistent with their counterpart, but it's not a rebalance of the character. Today I think the Nobushi is kind of in a good spot. It's pretty well balanced, and we don't want to break her.
I'm happy to hear that. And next, the Shugoki.
So Shugoki,
the big Shug.
Shugoki, it's not that weak that he's gonna get a real balance. Again, same as Valkyrie, it's only things to prevent free guard break, but we're gonna see just after that in the Matrix. Currently, the Shugoki is a little bit too strong, mainly because of the charge of the Oni move that is actually allowing him to perform a lot of kills in 4v4, but even in duel. And we're looking at that move, and that's gonna come soon.
All right. And the last but not least, the Valkyrie.
Yeah, like I said, Valkyrie, same thing as Nobushi and Shugoki. It's small tweaks in recoveries to prevent her from being punished with a free guard break on some move to make those matchups a little bit more fair.
And speaking of matchups, I think we have charts to show you guys.
Yes.
And we can go a little bit more into details of what we're looking at when we make change on different heroes and when we balance the game. So Max, when you're ready, you can show these beautiful people.
Actually, it's been a little bit more than a month that we released a big balancing patch. So during that month, that's 6 weeks actually, we collected a lot of data on the matches, and now today we've compiled them and we are acting on them. So in the future, when we will have again enough matches, we'll be able to show you the evolution of that. So here, what are we looking at? It's player skill. So basically, we have something called the MU that is rating player skills based on their win, loss, their performances, etc. So that's the current player skill on during duels. So that MU goes from -20 to +40 or something like that. And as we can see in the middle of that curve, between a MU of 12 and a MU of 21, we have like 75% of the players. So
this is the biggest part of our player base.
Yeah, that's most of you guys.
And also, if I may, this is what we use to matchmake players together.
We are not using the reputation level to matchmake you. We're using your skill in duel. We're using the
other players.
Okay, that's interesting.
Let's look at the matchup matrix with that. Between 12 and 21%. So again, 75% of the player database.
So what are we seeing here exactly?
So basically, here we're seeing the win-loss of every character against all the characters. So if I take the first line,
green,
Berserker,
we have the wins, and red.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's if I take the Berserker, for example, Berserker against Orochi, it's 48%. That means that the Berserker wins 48% of the time against the Orochi.
Okay, I see.
When the data is green for us, it's when it's between 45 and 55%. We think that in that range, between 45 and 55%, the character is balanced. Not each matchups needs to be between 45 and 55, because I think it's interesting to have some tougher matchups and some easier matchups. But overall, the character should be in that 45 to 55 sweet spot. And so when we're looking at that, we can go like, okay, so Peacekeeper 55, she's really at the top. But more importantly, what bothers me more when I look at that matrix is that most of the Peacekeeper matchup are actually too strong. Most of our matchup are above 55%. Just at that skill level, the Kensei is actually doing really well against the Peacekeeper, but that's the only character that is able to constantly punish her. Like also, if you look at the Warden, you might go like, it looks like the Warden is a little bit weaker. Yeah, we'll see in the next.
Because we're seeing 41%,
but basically
42,
why it's
38.
First, Warden is an entry character, so usually people that play the Warden discover the game. So at first they are less good, and also everybody knows he has a little bit the Ryu symptom in Street Fighter. Like everybody knows how to play against a Warden. Yeah. So you have to be a really good Warden in order to do something that is that outsmart your character. So that's why I'm not afraid by the Warden level. So that's the metric. So basically what we're looking at. So today for me in that level, we are in a good spot, but actually, what we are actually really looking at, it's the next slide.
Okay.
It's that same matrix, but for top 10 to 15% player, the 21 plus M. And that's where we have our really good players in duel, and that's where we see that we still have a little bit of work. That's where we see that the Zerker is actually too low. It's below 45%. That's where we see that the Kensei also is low. That's where we see that the Peacekeeper is getting a little bit too strong, and same with the Warlord. So today, what we're doing, we are trying to get everything balanced in terms of win-loss. We are trying to get everybody at high skill level around 45 and 55 overall. And also we are trying to reduce some matchups that are either too weak or too strong, or anything that is above 65% of win should not be that strong, and we should lower it. That's our first goal. And that's the goal of that patch. That will also be the goal of the patch coming. It's really to take a look at that. So remember what I was saying around the Peacekeeper? Yes, we nerf her a little bit, but we don't want to nerf her too much, because if you look at her matchup, like she has a really good matchup, for example, against the Berserker. So by buffing the Berserker, we are actually going to lower a little bit the stats of the Peacekeeper. Next patch in the future, we want to buff the Raider. Same thing. By buffing the Raider, that's gonna nerf a little bit the Peacekeeper. So that's why we're going slowly in terms of nerf, and we're a little bit more aggressive in terms of buffing and increasing the character. And then, when we get the matrix in a state where we feel like, okay, no, it's not only it's balanced for most of the people, but it's also balanced at a competitive level for our really, really top player, we will start to address some matchups that are actually balanced, but that are not really interesting. Like, for example, Warden against Conqueror, or those kind of matchups that, yeah, they're kind of working, but they are not that cool. And it's like, for example, a lot of matchups against the Warlord, where the match is actually too long, etc. That's gonna be a next step. First, we want to have it balanced. Then we want to give more options and more playstyle to the players. Because
it takes a lot of time to gather all of this quantity of data.
Each of those lines has more than 600,000 matches played.
Okay.
So it's really, really, really big data. It's not like 10 or 100 or 1,000 matches. Each line, it's at least 600,000 match. And okay, so now how do we actually listen to you? Because we are not just looking at the data. The data, we only use them for priority or for alert, like, oh shit, we need to really look at that, because we listen to you for two things. First, for perception. Like, okay, you feel that character is way too OP or way too bad or whatever. What does the data says? Is there a difference between that? Okay, how can we address that? But also, we listen a lot to you in terms of solutions. Shout out to my buddy Wukio.
Yes, shout out to everybody who sends their feedback.
We also look a lot at your feedback on those boring matchups and how to address them and give more options to the characters. And how we do that? So yes, we listen to you, but we also look a lot at streams. We are watching all the tournaments that are being done. We are watching them. We're watching the final. Yes, we saw the final with the two Shugoki, and yes, we're going to address Shugoki out of lock playstyle, etc. That's something we're looking at. But currently, our first issue is getting to that sweet spot of 45-55, if that makes sense.
That makes sense, Roman. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Anything else on balancing, guys? We went through everything, I guess, in this patch.
So next time we won't be showing those metrics every stream, because as I was saying,
we need to collect.
It takes a lot of data. And if you remember, one time I speak way too fast when I was saying that Raider had a strong matchup with the Peacekeeper. If you look at the data, you're gonna shoot me in the face now with what I said. It's because it was actually data, there was not enough matches at that time. So yeah, at that moment, Peacekeeper characters were not actually reacting well to Raider. No, that's not the case at all. No, it's actually completely the invert. So that's why now we want to take time to actually collect really a lot of matches to have solid data.
We have a couple questions for you guys from the chat. First one, Tyrus War is asking, will you guys be looking into adding cooldowns for moves like the Warden's Shoulder, Barge, Conqueror, the Shoulder Bash, I guess, Conqueror Shield Bash, and Warlord's Headbutt?
So, no, we don't want to put a cooldown. Are we looking at those moves and the spamming of those moves? Yes. We feel that cooldown is not a good solution. I prefer solution based on how much at disadvantage am I if you counter that move, how much stamina that move costs. For the Warden, for example, we are looking at how late into the move you can cancel to guard break, and we are looking at balancing that. So it's more trying to balance the move through the actual properties of the move than just placing a cooldown like, no, sorry, because now that input does not exist anymore. It doesn't feel really correct, at least for now.
Another question here from Master Safara. Are you looking, that's a two-step question, are you looking into fixing all heroes' known exploits, as well as doing anything to block damage and block damage resistance?
So yes, like we said, today we fixed the Nobushi and being able to make you bleed even if I'm at 100 meta of you. That bug, that exploit actually is still present on other character. We are gonna address them as soon as we can. As for gear stats, yes, we did the first pass on all the gear stats about revenge in that patch. That's something that we're going to continue to do and make sure that all the gear stats not only are balanced but are also viable builds.
Okay, interesting. Other question from I'm Not a Leafy Fan Hiss. One of my favorite part of my job is to say your Twitch names, guys. Will there ever be the option to use neutral colors on all game modes? Because right now, neutral colors are really nice, but you can only use them in 1v1s.
So in fact, no. It's something we no, to be really honest, before that, we didn't have any attacker and defender color. It was 2 years ago, and we had big issues of visibility, of knowing who is your opponent, even with the icon you have above the head, because in the middle of the fight you're really focused on the stance widget and you don't see anything else. And so we had to come up with this idea to be sure that you know really quickly in half a second who is with you and who is against you. But we've expanded, so that's why it's not only orange against blue, but it's more warm color against cold colors. It doesn't mean that we won't introduce more colors in the future, but we have to really stay in the sweet spot of learnability and visibility of who is with me and who is against me. So it's a tricky thing to really not go above the limit of visibility.
All right, thank you, Damien. We're having a lot of questions from Xbox One players about the degradation of service. Do we have any details to tell them right now?
It's a new degradation that came up last week. With the last update on the Xbox One. So we're really discussing with Xbox. They're working with us. They have some engineers with us working on that subject and trying to see what's going on and why we have that degradation for Xbox One users.
All right, thank you, Damien. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to have a look at the big update that we released today, and don't forget, today was PC. It will come on console pretty soon. We'll keep you updated for sure. If you want to have a look at all of these notes, please look on our website on For Honor Game. All the patch notes are there. They're on the forums. They're on Reddit. Also, something very cool that we're doing. We did our first community workshop last November here in Montreal. Yes. So we invited eight of our community ambassadors and top players at the studio to gather their feedback, to play the game content. We're doing the same thing next week. So we are inviting some of you guys to join us here to play our upcoming heroes and content and talk about balancing and also play the current game and talk a little bit more about all of that, to meet the devs, meet these guys here, and gather your feedback. So that's very important for us to do that.
And to me, it's a concrete action, something we discussed last week. You guys were like, yeah, finally we feel like we start to have a dialogue with you guys, and we were like, why not having some of you? We cannot bring everybody here, but selecting a few back. Yeah, or we need to sell a few more millions copy to do that. So, but why not bring a few people here, because it's good to read the comments but discussion, having 3 days with the guys, having the chance to explore the different aspect of the game, being able to play with them, to understand deeply what are their questions, and bring the solution we have in our head. I think it's an amazing opportunity. I'm super anxious about that. It will be super fun.
Actually, I'm looking for it. That's
exactly. Yes. But I think we will learn a lot from
you. Get your ass kicked, yeah, for sure. Maybe that's why you're anxious.
Don't talk too fast.
For me, the important thing is that big patch is the first step, and we're still hard at work at improving and fixing and making that game alive. And so stay tuned for the rest, because big things are coming.
Yeah,
absolutely. And because of this workshop, because we'll be spending most of the week with some of you guys here, we will reschedule this stream. So we'll keep you updated when it's going to happen. But don't panic. We'll still have the week in For Honor article live on the website. So no worries. We'll keep you updated about all that. So make sure to follow us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, of course. It's easy to find us.
And I think we could commit to say that we will communicate with you guys at the next live stream about what we learned from that event. I think because who knows, maybe we'll organize another one and you will be part of it.
Yeah.
So who knows? So I think it would be interesting to talk about it.
Absolutely.
At the next stream.
Why not? It's a process that we started doing last November, like I said, and we want to do it more. So even if you, if you were not selected for this workshop, we may pick you in a future one. So yeah, keep on sending your feedback, guys, and
see you on the battlefield. Yeah!
One last thing. Because it's a Warriors Den tradition, we have combat packs for you guys.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, we have a raffle. So our community managers on the chat, Fred, James, Kevin, whenever you're ready, you can launch the raffle. We have combat packs to give away, and yeah. Thanks for watching. Watch the VOD if you were not able to catch the stream live. It's totally useless that I'm saying this live here, but tell your friends, and see you next time. Thanks, guys, for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Guys.
Thanks, Emile.
And see you soon.
Yeah.